Hi, good morning. My name is Derrick Seegars. I go to the New York City College of Technology in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a junior and I'm studying architecture with a focus on environmental studies. And my project today is satellite remote sensing mission support improvement. And the project targets the Great Lakes and ice flow challenges. So this is just a little bit of an overview of what I'm going to talk about today. The project structure, the challenges that the Great Lakes face, and how these contributing factors to ice buildup and breakages are causing harm in the Great Lakes region. So this summer I worked with the Tower S team, which is the Total Operational Weather Readiness team, and we had a challenge of trying to implement an IPT structure to help all the interagencies coordinate and work together for the remote satellite mission. The idea was to explore data and do different analysis with a multitude of different case studies and developments to work together in this IPT structure. So this is a little bit more. IPTs they're integrated product teams. They're responsible for developing large-scale complex projects and streamlining it so that there's interagency coordination for products to define product. And there's many different players in the game within this. So there's Great Lakes weather forecasting offices. There's the National Ice Center, NESDIS STAR team, GLERL, which is the Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratories. So there's a lot of players in this, and the IPT structure helps to focus and have representatives from each of those teams work together to produce the product. And in this sense, the product would be safety and weather sort of warning updates. So this year, this is a graphic from Chicago. Let's see if it'll work. So this is a HD high-resolution video from the John Hancock Tower, which is in Chicago. And this just demonstrates how common and how dangerous of a problem ice breakage and flows are to us. And this is right in downtown Chicago, which is the third most populous city in America. So this just demonstrates, how important it is that we're able to accurately predict and forecast ice breakages and flows to prevent situations like this. If there's anybody on this ice at this time, they're being carried out to sea or, something worse. So this was from February of last year, 2021. Okay, so some of the contributing factors to ice flows, I was able to talk with Mr. Lombardi, who is Kirk Lombardi. He's a National Weather Service forecaster in the Cleveland office. And he mentioned to me that the reason for these ice breakages and flows has to do with a situation called a Seiche. It's a disturbance or oscillation in water within a body. And so you can kind of think of it as sort of like water sloshing back and forth within a tub. And these are caused by different weather factors, such as offshore winds pushing it. And you can see sort of these propagating waves pushing the water up onto the shoreline. And this creates these ice ridges when the water freezes over in the winter months in the Great Lakes region. Okay, so this is a graphic used by our affiliates, the National Ice Centers. And they track the ice concentration and thickness. Now, this is a graphic from April, so there's no ice. But generally, you would see the color coordination here showing where the ice is thickest and on what parts of the Great Lakes. And like I said, the different offices collaborate together. They share information The GLERL offices use in-house products, and they transmit that to the National Weather Service along with the National Ice Centers for forecasting. There's a symbiotic relationship that exists between these, sharing the information that they receive. Okay, so there are other main contributing factors on creating ice breakage and flows, and this graphic demonstrates how this works in terms of the ice ridge and how they develop. So as you can see here, when there's a Seiche that occurs, you have these sort of ridges that form along the sides of the shores. And then if there are winds that are perpendicular, they're going to push these ridges out to sea, sort of like how a wind pushes a sail out. And so if you're on the ice at this time, there's a number of different reasons why that's dangerous. You can fall into a hole in the ice ridge and you can get trapped, or the ice shelf can just be pushed out to sea, as you can see here. So as we try to coordinate with various agencies within this IPT-like structure, the Cleveland National Weather Service Office is the main controlling arm within the region. And they're the ones that are coordinating with GLERL and NIC and a lot of the other weather forecasting offices. They also issue directives and weather statements. Directive 10330 lays out the procedures and the mission connections for all of the operating affiliates within this forecast. And they give out forecasts 3 times a week for ice warnings, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, so this is a graphic showing the ice coverage generally on the lake conditions from January and all the way through the end of February, which is the height of the season. So as you can see in the beginning of January, there's not a lot of ice coverage. This is mid-January, you can see there's way more coverage. And then by the beginning of February and into late February, you can see that a lot of the lakes are frozen over either almost entirely or a really good portion. So this is a picture taken from our MODIS satellite, and it shows ice cover. This is Lake Erie, and it shows over 80% of the ice of the lake is completely covered with ice. Now, MODIS is sort of an older satellite. We're trying to use more newer, updated satellites like BEERS, which is the Visible Infrared Imagery Suite, and we're also trying to integrate our GOES-R satellite, which is our geostationary environmental satellite. Trying to get those to assist with better imaging and helping with better forecasting options. So shore ice and flows are a huge challenge for the region and can have really dangerous effects to life and property. The weather season goes from December until April for the winter weather, but most of the time we see a lot of the cases or dangerous conditions happening in March, like mid-March, because it starts to get warmer. People are heading out onto the ice for fishing or playing or skating, and then this is where these issues come in and occur. Most of the emergencies happen during this time as the weather gets warmer and the ice starts to break up more. So the safety of property and as well as life is, paramount to all the agencies, and there exists this relationship of data flow that's being shared. The Coast Guards need this information to act in real time from the National Weather Service, and this is why our accuracy and data is so important. You can see it describes where the ice forecast describes where the ice is and impact on shipping, channels, and access to ports. And they also summarize wind direction, max speed, the high and low temperatures for ports on lakes. It'll also show where ice will develop and decay rapidly. And it uses satellite data to understand where the ice fields are located. So the ice forecasts are coming directly from the National Weather Service, and it's coordinated from all the other local affiliates to provide this data, which is really crucial for the Coast Guards to get accurate information so that they can help in real time for if they need to assist. So over the summer, to assist in my research, I used case studies to obtain different data for various processes and techniques. A use case is a workflow technique that we use to get a desired outcome for decision-making processes for forecast scenarios. So in my use case development, I mentioned earlier, I got the opportunity to speak with Kirk Lombardi. He's one of the head meteorologists at the National Weather Service in Cleveland. He correctly predicted an ice flow by looking at weather patterns. So we wanted to use his process as a baseline model for how we could improve on our weather forecasting. So he predicted an ice flow on February 20th. And he sent out an impact decision-based support service and allowed us to issue a marine weather statement and additional messaging to the U.S. Coast Guard. On that day, Kirk Lombardi saved over 10 people that were on an ice breakage that was accurately predicted by him, and they were able to get the Coast Guard out to save those people's lives. So we also, when I spoke to Mr. Lombardi, he also gave me a contact at the Coast Guard, which is Mr. Mark Gill. He's the director of vessel traffic. And he gave us a little bit of insight on how important it is for the Coast Guard to get accurate, up-to-date, real-time information and what they do, what their priorities are, checking on national incidents, urgent vessel assistance, community service, and they help facilitate waterway navigation. So it's really crucial for them to know about the ice breakage, where the ice is in real time. So this is our AWIPS system. It's our Advanced Weather Interactive Processing System. I had the opportunity to work with this system in the summer. It helps forecasters prepare and issue more accurate data using satellite and radar imagery. We're also able to hold archived data. Since it's a geostationary satellite, we're able to look at data from the past and also loop data around since it's not moving and it's focused on one point. So it's really helpful for us to be able to use the GOES-R satellite. And the AWIPS system allows us to have different ice products that we can look at. So like ice concentration, ice thickness, surface temperatures on the lake, so we can see where the lakes are warming, where they're cooling. You can see this here by some of the ice products that we're able to use in the AWIPS system to more accurately, get timely forecast and warnings out. Okay. So this is a multispectral image loop from AWIPS, and we used it in our day cloud phase. So it allows us to see the ice in real time. This is actually pulled from the day that Mr. Lombardi accurately predicted the ice breakage. You can see here the weather patterns, you can see the clouds, and we can also see upper level and lower level surface winds indicated by the green and blue arrows. And you can, I don't know if you can see, but you can see the ice literally shifting over with the direction of the wind. So this is something that we hope to enhance and improve on with our products that are coming out in AWIPS in the near future. So finally, I had an amazing experience this summer analyzing data through our AWIPS and our satellites, evaluating use cases and identifying difficult challenges to overcome. We want to integrate VIIRS as well as the GOES-R satellite. We want to start moving away from MODIS, as it's MODIS is our polar satellite that goes around the polar region. It's not as good because, like I said, they can only capture images. We can't loop the data. So we want to combine MODIS, VIIRS, and GOES-R data so that we can get a more enhanced picture, filtering out cloud cover so that we can see through. This has been a huge challenge of predicting where ice is because of the cloud cover. So hopefully we're able to combine this, and this is the continued work that goes on. We want to improve the effectiveness of our specific cryo products within AWIPS such as ice thickness, concentration, and our cloud clearing filtering options. So this is the goal that we're trying to do, and the work continues on even to this day, so we can accurately predict, forecasting for the winter months. Finally, I just want to thank all the people that have helped me with this process. Dr. Natasha White, Ms. Amara Huddlestein, Dr. Jacqueline Rousseau, and many others that work with me on the Tower S project. My mentors, Joe Seiche and Dr. Maurice McHugh. So thank you, that's my presentation. And if you have any questions, please.